So, all right, we're gonna be doing a former cam girl Q&A. But yeah, shoot. Any question you've ever had for me in the last video about being a cam girl, bring it on. Let's go. Let's get right into it, boys. How much money do you make per month? So when I started camming, as soon as I turned 18, like 2 months into it. And if you want to see like a more in-depth video about how I started camming, you can go to like !my past or past. It will show up like it's like a 30-minute VOD of me like talking about it. But so when I started camming, my first day, it gives you a new tag for like I think the first week on camming. So the first 2 days I streamed, I got like 6,000 viewers like the first day. It went from like 100, 200, and then immediately like 6,000. And I think I made like maybe I would say $400 that day. I didn't really know my value or how much to charge. I wasn't actually like I didn't have a tip menu. I wasn't charging for anything. People were just kind of throwing like $500. I think it was like 500, sorry. $500 to like, you know, take off my shirt, and I was like, "Okay." But I wish I would have like, you know, set my limit a lot higher, because like I already was doing like masturbating stuff on the first day, and like I wish I would have stretched that out to like 3 months in, because that's the best way to make money, is like really slowly do things. But I would say on the first couple months, I went really low view count for a couple weeks, and I was probably making maybe like $50 a day. And then it really picked off, probably I would say 6 months, 1 year down the line, and I was making probably about like $300-400 a night. And about like a year and a half in, I was making like $700 a stream. So that was pretty cool. And then totaling with all the videos I was making, some days it was fucking mental, right? Like some days I would check and I made like $1,400 that day. Combined sales of videos and other things like custom videos and streaming. Like I remember those days I would look at my bank account and I'd be like, holy fucking shit, I just paid my rent in one stream. Like that was insane to me. But it only lasted for like 6 months. But I would say I had 3 months where I made like 30K a month. But that's just from streaming. I also had like somebody giving me money privately, and probably like 1 month I would say my maximum was like 50 grand. But that was probably like 1 month. I would say like the total I made from camming, and most of it's gone now for like paying my mom's medical bills and paying my own medical bills and all that kind of stuff. I say through all of that, I probably in total, like, I don't know, made like under 200 grand in a year? Maybe? 2 years? I don't know. Maybe I would say it wasn't a lot, but it was a lot for like an 18-year-old. What made you stop? That's in the My Past video in more detail, but the TRDL, I basically joined a cult. The cult kind of ruined camming for me, and then I decided to stop doing it because I broke my foot, and that on top of the cult just kind of made me not want to do it. Because like I broke my foot, right? And I kept streaming because you had to do it like every day to be like relevant. And people were like, show me your pussy. And I'm like, hey, I just broke my foot. Would you mind not doing that? And then I was like, you know what? This isn't the platform for me. And then I just started doing Twitch randomly. And then it just stuck with me because Twitch was really fun. And I enjoyed this more. There's more variety. Like I can go IRL, I can watch YouTube videos, I can do all of those things instead of just talk. Were you a cam girl or porn star? I identified as a cam girl because I think to be a professional porn star, you have to shoot like actively, and on top of that, like with legitimate companies. Like if you do one video, you're not a porn star in my opinion. But I've done like amateur things on camera, like, but it was never with like a proper camera. It was always just like, you know, me and a webcam and a boy. So it wasn't like, I don't identify as proper porn. But I have done like amateur stuff. Like I think I've done like, I don't even know how many, it was like 4 or 5 with like friends. So you moved from showing your puss to showing my puss cats. Yeah, exactly. It's okay, guys. She has no concept of money. That's not true. I actually have a very strong concept of money. I grew up extremely poor. Like, we literally grew up in the ghetto, okay? Like, the ghettoist of Finland. And, like, a really cheap apartment where you had to, like, rent it out to, like, drug dealers, basically. So, I've always grew up really poor. I was the second child, so I always got everything, like, second. I would always shop at, like, thrift shops to buy clothes because I couldn't buy things new. So growing up with like, you know, not even like anything more than like the cheapest Nokia phone possible, I really have a good value of money. Did you invest? No, I didn't invest. But I have like saved a lot. I don't have too much in my account anymore. Like I still have more than probably an average 21-year-old, but like I'm not enough to like buy a house or like be comfortable like stopping streaming or anything like that. Question, why were you always singing and dancing to Rocky Horror Picture Shows? That's the thing, like I like love getting up and dancing on stream and like just vibing. But I get so nervous doing it because I don't want to be perceived as like a Twitch thought. So I don't want to like just get up and start like, you know, just fucking vibing. I'm gonna start doing that more often though by playing like Just Dance, I think. But I really miss those days. Those were really fun. Rocky Horror Picture Show was a big part of my life back then, and like it was, you know, fun for me to participate in and just be myself. I feel like sometimes I pretend it didn't happen, and like it's not because I'm ashamed of it, but I really sometimes forget that that was even my life. Like I forget to myself that I even did those things because it's like been so long. Did you ever consider doing escort? Absolutely not. Not in any world, not any amount of money could ever get me to like have sex with someone I don't know or I don't find attractive. Like even camming, like that's the reason I didn't do porn, because like you don't get to choose who you sleep with. Camming you do, but I'm not like super picky, but as somebody that's been like abused sexually a lot, I need to be completely comfortable and like know that person cares about me in order to have sex with them now. So, and even now, like I haven't had sex in 6 months. I haven't dated anyone in 6 months, and like I'm pretty happy. I don't need that in my life, but I want the person that comes into it to be like somebody that I trust. I don't want to just have sex with a stranger anymore. How sexy you think you are? I would say I'm like a 7, like a solid 7. I'm not gonna like try to lower my ego. I think like objectively I'm like a 7, maybe an 8 on a good day. Is that a wig? No, it's my hair. What was your best and worst experience? Ooh, you ready? The best experience, I would say, was going to the red carpet events, and I think that was just like a very surreal experience, like going to award shows and stuff. Going to the Pornhub Awards was like the craziest thing to me. That was surreal, like meeting Little Dicky, Black Bear, like all of those people, like it was surreal. Seeing Kanye West and talking to him in person, like that was, I think, the craziest experience. In like actually camming itself, I would say the best experience was those days. Actually, no, my favorite one was like, I think it was like August, right? Someone in chat was like, happy birthday, and I was like, oh, it's not my birthday. And then all of my regulars started donating and like saying happy birthday. I think they donated like $3,000, right? Like everyone was like, happy birthday! It was like my half birthday. So everyone celebrated, and that was like really fun. My worst experience was I went to Alaska to do some porn. I was at a convention, and there was like a couple there that was like acting all sexy, and I was like, hey, if you ever want to do content together, I'd love to, because I'd never done like boy girl content. Actually, I think I had at that point, but I was like, oh yeah, I'll come up and shoot with you. But then I was like thinking about it, and like they already bought the plane tickets, and I was like, wait a second, I don't think I actually want to have sex with both of them. I don't think I'm comfortable with that. And I realized that, and then I went there anyways. And I was like, hey, is it possible I can just have sex with, like, the girl? Because, like, I think I'd be okay with that, but not the guy, right? And they were like, she got me really high. And she basically was like, the fans paid for the plane tickets. They're going to be so disappointed. Think about the fans. You have to do it. You just have to. And, like, she was trying to peer pressure me into doing it. And then I got really uncomfortable. Like, they both started doing it, and I was just like, I need to go. Like, she was like, I'm not gonna work with you, and they were like, it was a really uncomfortable situation, so I got on the first plane home. Yeah, that was something. What else? Kanye arranged the Pornhub Awards, I think, actually. He made all the trophies and stuff. Did you make any friends through adult work? Yeah. One of my closest friends I think I made through adult work was Mary Moody. She was somebody I did content with, but, like, when I was in not San Francisco, I don't know, wherever they lived before, I was just learning to drive. She gave me some driving lessons. Like, Mary Moody taught me how to drive, which was so cool because not only we're making content and having fun doing it, she was also like showing me around the town, and we were going to like fun places and getting breakfast, and then like she taught me how to drive, which was really cool. I don't have any. Wait, hold on. What's another one? I think was the cam community toxic and competitive as a streamer community can be. I don't think the streamer community is nearly as toxic, like, as competitively. Toxic, I think the stream community definitely is more toxic, but, like, if you're talking about this, let's say, MFC, which is based on ranks, so you're constantly having to get more money and viewers to, like, succeed, that is toxic, I think, in the way that, like, you're constantly challenging yourself. And then on, like, CB, for instance, I felt like that was a little bit more freeing, so it's kind of like you didn't have to compete with, like, who's on top. It was more so, like, viewer-wise as opposed to money-wise. But I didn't like that stress or the idea of stress, so, like, I always did just, like, hey, I'm just gonna do my thing. But here, I don't think it's really competitive for views. It's very different. I feel like people just watch who they want to watch. Did you continue to work as your usual during your period? Okay, so girls do have periods weekly. Fortunately for me, most of my periods were not on stream because I was on birth control that caused me for 2 years not to have periods. So I never really had to deal with that. I did have like the occasional period though, like once every half a year. And it was always really awkward. Like I think on like 2 times on stream, I didn't think I was on my period. So I'd be streaming and like suddenly like people would be like I'd notice there was blood, and then I would just suddenly be like, haha, and like go on the ground and crawl out of the room. I was like, that's awkward. So that's happened before. Or like I would be masturbating and like suddenly start my period, and like I would be like, haha, we're just gonna stop now and not say anything because you can get banned for blood on the site, which is really unfortunate because it's a normal part of your body. But yeah, it didn't really happen that often though. How much of the money was going to the site? It was 50-50. 50-50 split, no negotiations. It was, I think, 60-40 on the video selling site. So, which that was a little bit better, but it was kind of ridiculous. Like 50-50 is a lot. What you got is what you got though. So like 100 tokens, I think was $5. So you just knew like 1,000 tokens was $50. There was no like negotiation there. So I think we didn't have to see it get deducted. It was the viewers that bought it, and then it would get deducted then, like the value. How did you stay horny for the duration of the show? Was it all play? I would say most of the time, like, I was, like, I'm sorry saying like and so much. Most of the time, I didn't just, like, do it round the clock. Like, a lot of girls are on there just for 24/7 masturbating. For me, it was most of the time, like, I was, just, like, doing my normal stream. I was talking, and at the end, like, last hour, I would just, like, do my sex show, like, the masturbating. So it was, like, my normal, like, hey, I'm just masturbating for the day. It was never like I was forcing it. It was always just kind of like, you know, and if I wasn't in the mood, I would just start, and then I'd get into it, so it was totally fine. I don't think I, like, ever faked anything except for, like, my anal vid. I did, like, one anal vid, and, like, it was not fun at all. So I was just like, yeah, let's pretend I don't hate this right now. Would you even have considered farting on cam as a kinker class? Never done it. Never wanted to. I don't want that on the internet. I've done some weird shit, but, like, farting? No, it's not gonna happen, ever. So did you make 400 every night after the 50 cut? After, yes. But it was like some days would get like 100, which is still better than I get now most days, but like, yeah. Again, I had a moment where I was like, happiness or money. And at the end of the day, money can buy a lot of things, but it can't buy happiness. I had so much money, right? And like, I didn't really know what to do with that, so I just took care of everyone around me. If somebody needed money, I would give them money. Like, I was very generous. Like, I would go into other streams and just give people like $1,000 because I just felt guilty having that much money and not feeling like I deserved it. So I gave like a lot of my money to like my mom and people around me, and I bought people expensive gifts, and that's just kind of always been my nature. I like sharing my wealth. I don't like having it all to myself, because what's the point of that, you know? Now I've gotten a lot better of like being like, hey, I have to like balance it out because, you know, I need to be responsible. Hello. So is her artist name? I don't say that because like I didn't look like myself. It's very almost like weird it's not the fact that I was having sex in the videos or masturbating. It's more so like that's not who I am anymore. It doesn't look like me. It, like, even in my eyes, like, it doesn't look like me in my eyes. I look like a different soul. Like, I wasn't really like there in a different way. Like, I was a complete different person. So looking at it freaks me out. It's scary. Do your relatives know you were on cam? So camming is a really awkward thing, in the sense that if you don't tell people you're doing it, then they're gonna be very surprised. But if you tell people you're doing it, then, like, I don't know. So, I don't know how to explain that. Right before I started camming, I just woke up one day and I was like, I should do that. Yeah, so, I knew I wanted to start camming, so I called my mom and I was like, hey, how would you feel if I just suddenly, like, quit my job where I was making, like, $2,000 a month, working, like, 170 hours a month, to doing camming and making $10,000 a month and being able to pay for, like, us going to a spa and stuff every week? And she was like, well, if it makes you happy. And I told my dad at some point too before I started doing it. And then I started doing it because I didn't want anyone to, like, send it to my mom and then my mom be like a whole thing. So I told her before I started doing it. My mom always accepted everything I've done. Like, I've always called her and, like, told her, like, the honest stuff. And, you know, we have a very, like, open, casual relationship, which is really good because I feel comfortable discussing those things with her. I would have hated if I had to hide that and had that anxiety. So everyone I knew, when I would meet people, I'd be like, hey, I'm a cam girl. So they didn't have to learn and be like, gasp. I just told people right off the bat. Even, like, if I was going on a date, the first thing I would say is, like, I'm a sex worker. It's like, what else are you gonna say? Did your dad ever say, I don't know if he's ever watched my stuff. Probably, like, he probably has scrolled through. My mom has definitely seen the thumbnails out of curiosity. Like, she told me she checked. But she was just like, well, if it makes you happy. My dad, though, I don't know. He was never, like, proud of it, but my dad's a really, like, raunchy person anyway, so I don't think he cared that much. My parents are very, like, open-minded, though. What made you do Twitch? There's a long video explaining it if you want to hear the actual thing. It's like 40 minutes long. It's called My Past. That explains, like, why I quit clamming, why I got into it. It's a little bit dark, but... Did male cam make more or less than females? Thank you! Well, I think typically I would say women make more than men. Typically. But I would say if, like, you have a female with, like, 100 views versus a man on the top charts, obviously he's making more. But women typically made more. But there's definitely an audience for men, as long as you're willing to, like, pander to gays and be willing to do, like, gay content, then, like, you'll do really well. Straight content doesn't do as well. That's, like, a fact. Kind of jealous your parents are open-minded. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice being able to be open with them. Thank you, Christian, for the 100 bits. Why did you stop? What would it take to go back to camming? I already explained why I stopped. It was because I kind of lost the passion for it and the motivation. But I don't think I'll ever do it again because it doesn't really feel like my lifetime anymore. Like, it doesn't feel like something that I feel comfortable doing. Like, I feel like it's so weird to say how I went from being, like, titties out, open with my body. Like, now I'm kind of more conservative and, like, I don't really feel comfortable doing that necessarily. Like, if I had to ever go, like, tits out on cam again, I think I'd be, like, really uncomfortable doing it. Like, I'd be like, so, here we are. Like, it'd be weird. Like, it's a completely different mindset. Like, my ideas and beliefs have changed so much, and I'm not against sex work, but, like, on my own body, like, I have a lot more value, and, like, I want to keep it for somebody special. But how did your sex life change due to your past? A lot of people won't date me because I used to be a sex worker. I've had a few relationships. I say a lot of my past relationships, they knew I did it going into it, and either they would get really into it, being like, hey, you want to film a video with me? That would go so viral if we posted that. Or like, hey, can I record this on my phone? Or would you feel more comfortable with a camera here? To all of a sudden being like, I don't want to date you because somebody sent me your porn and I had to see it, and like, now I can't look at you the same way. Like, I've had both of those things happen multiple times in my life. Like, a lot of people, like, they'll think they're okay with it, and then they'll Google me and then see the videos I've done and then suddenly be like completely grossed out and like almost jealous, but it's not something I can change. Is it cold on set? Well, like I said, I've never done like proper porn, so it's normally just me and another person, so it's never like, you know. But yeah, it was a little bit awkward. Like when I was doing porn videos, I can say that wasn't really about passion. When I was by myself, like I was very passionate, I never faked orgasms, but when I was doing with other people, like I normally wasn't that into it. I was really uncomfortable, to be honest. I wasn't like in a good headspace to be having sex, let alone on camera, so I probably shouldn't have done boy-girl content, but made a lot of money, so got me where I need to be. I mean, when I moved to America, I was like basically homeless for 2 months, so I am very grateful I did the things I did to get by at that time, because I might not be where I am now. I might be on the streets or something, so. How long did you do the work for? About 1.5 to 2 years, I think. What made you more money, porn or camming? I would say camming made more money on a daily basis. Porn was like quick money, but because like normally it like gets really fast, but like I would say definitely camming made more money. Videos were kind of like a side thing for like extra income in case I didn't want to cam for a week or two. Maybe date older men, they don't give a shit about stuff like that. Well, I have dated older men. I was telling you, like, the 30-year-old is the one that was being all creepy and saying those things and being uncomfortable by it, so. You know, like, how old are you implying? It's already 10 years older, and that didn't work. Did you say no to a partner before filming? Mia said she has said no before. I never did, like, professional porn, so I never had to experience that. But I have gone to do videos with people and then realized I didn't want to while I was there. Mature and not older. Yeah, exactly. Like, because I've met 21-year-olds that are more mature than 30-year-olds. I think it really just depends. How many crew were on set? Like I just said, never did it professionally. Only me on set. Did you get paid before or after the video? I would sell the videos myself, so I would always get paid after the video on how many videos I sold. But it was way more than professional porn. That's why I never did it. Because by making it myself, I made 5 times more than you would make, like, doing it professionally. Which is very strange to me, but. Remember the reverse striptease with your entire wardrobe? I vaguely remember that. I've done a lot of really weird stuff. Like, I remember one time I did, like, a fashion show in a trash bag. I would do, like, camming isn't all sexual. Like, I literally did a reverse thing where, like, people could donate for me to put clothes on, and then I had, like, a lot of clothes on. Like, I've done stuff like that before. It's really funny, to be honest. Like, sex work is very interesting. What were your limits for requests? I wouldn't do anything I was uncomfortable with. Mostly, like, it would have to be things that were, you know, like, more on the tame side. I didn't like doing things that were, like, super edgy. Biggest donation, single donation. I think the biggest single donation was bigger on Twitch. I think it was $3,000 on Twitch. On camming, I think it was like $2,000, something like that. But I've like had like people give me lots of money in the past though, like just over time. It's different. Do you think you will have a trouble ever getting a man? I like to look at it as if somebody is going to be uncomfortable with my past and who I was, then they're not open and minded enough for me to date them. So if they're uncomfortable dating me, I don't really view that as a loss and like my fault for being a cam girl. I view that as like someone wasn't open and minded enough to date me. I have always thought about professional stuff was boring when you can normally tell it's just acting. Yeah, definitely. How are the taxes? Are they the worst on Twitch? They're better on Twitch. When I was camming, like, I had to pay so many taxes. It was so much. I'm not gonna lie. Especially it was complicated because half of it was in Finland and stuff. Did your view on men change due to your past? Not with sex work. It was already, like, pretty messed up before that. I've always had, like, a weird relationship with sex, though. So why did you first not say anything about your cam past? I had no idea. I don't know what you're talking about. I've always been open about it. Like, since the day I started Twitch. It might not be always what I introduce myself as, because I don't view introducing myself as my past as a very, like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Like, informative way. Because I'm not, like, identifying my whole self of being as a former sex worker. Like, I've done Twitch as long as I've done that. So I feel like identifying as, like, a Twitch girl is more relevant. Water break? Okay. Largest one-day view count during cam. With Mary Moody, I think it was like 23,000 viewers. But on like many occasions, I had like 15,000, 16,000. I remember one time, wait, didn't I do a sleep stream on there? Or In the middle of the night, I did like a 24-hour stream, and like for 24 hours, I had like 16,000 views, and I was literally doing nothing. Like, I remember one time I was just staring at the camera because I was so like tired, I think, and I just had like that many views, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you guys doing? Yeah, I was very strict with sleeping, actually, you're right. But I did go off camera and fall asleep, and then I was like, came back and I was like, turned it off because I was like, I can't keep going, I'm tired, I need to go to bed. Because we were in a fort, I think, that day. How did you delete all your cam vids on the internet? Well, I realized I wanted to stop selling them on my profile because if I didn't stop selling them and take them down, then people would still think I'm a sex worker. And like, I wanted to completely be like, hey, I moved past that. I'm now doing Twitch full time and I'm not going back. So I deleted my old videos. And as I always did for like, since I started, like you'd be selling videos and people would take them and post them for free. So obviously I wouldn't get the money, so I would copyright strike them, where I would either my lawyer would help me or I had a company do it. So I still do that now. If I'm not selling them, or if I am selling them, I don't consent to videos of me being reposted. But that goes for anything. Like if somebody started like selling my Twitch streams, I would DMCA that too. Like I don't think that's really fair, but nobody would do that. I don't know why you would sell my Twitch streams when they're for free. But like hypothetically, if I had my VODs locked for like only subs and somebody was re-uploading them, I would completely like go and DMCA them. I don't really view the difference. It's not necessarily because I don't want people to see them. It's more so like I don't feel making money off me. Because there's been some videos that I had taken down that had like 1 million+ views, and like that is like $1,000 that somebody is getting off of me. So I don't consent to that. So like I take it down and claim the money. It happens occasionally. Did anyone that you are currently friendly with on Twitch, hold on, know watch? Yeah, everybody that I'm friends with has clearly watched my porn. And like, I don't judge them either, because if like somebody says, oh, this person had a nudes leak, the first thing I do is go on Livestream Fails and try to find the clip. Like, and like, the thing is, it's not weird. Like, you just look at it and you're like, oh, okay. Like, I've seen all my friends naked that have had their nudes leaked, and, like, they've probably seen me 100%. Like, everyone's watched my videos, and, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Curiosity always is there. Did you want your old viewers to follow you on Twitch? That was always a tough thing. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate that. Aureus? So, I was indifferent about, like, should I promote it? Should I not? Because it was still overnight. And I did have a lot of followers. I had 175,000 followers on my site that I was on. It was quite a lot. So basically, I was indifferent if I wanted to like completely go clean slate or if I wanted to like obviously bring those people over. And I told like most of my regulars that were like active in my community, the ones that actually cared to follow, they did. So I thought that was pretty nice. Like if they wanted to follow, they could. So people did, and I kept all my social media and just like moved everything over. I didn't say anything, that's the weirdest part. I just did it because I was so frustrated. Like that people asked to see my pussy when I broke my foot. Like I don't know, it's just like the snapping point. I was like, I'm done, I'm leaving, gone. Didn't say anything, just left. What is the oddest kink that somebody has asked you to do? That is a really tough question. I never did this, but I've gotten ones where people have asked me to like put diapers on and pretend I'm like a 5-year-old. I wouldn't do those though, because that's fucking disturbing, but it's really nice you can speak about this so openly. Well, that's the thing, like, I don't feel embarrassed about it, but answering random questions at random times just, like, ruins the stream. So, like, let's say I'm just petting my cat and someone's like, what's it like to do anal? Of course, we'll silence that topic because that's, like, a very weird thing to ask when I'm, like, just doing something completely irrelevant to that. But in this certain context, every couple months, I need to allow a space for you guys to do, like, little Q&A so you guys can, like, we can talk about it in, like, an educational way without it, like, being off topic. I know a lot of people have wanted to see new content of me now that I have boobs and, like, look healthy. But I just don't think I'll do it. I mean, maybe one day. I'm not gonna completely say no because maybe in a couple months I'll be like, hey, I want to do that. But right now, my mentality, I like just doing Twitch and trying to get my YouTube and stuff going, so. Do you think a lot of guys try to use cam girls to fill the cam girl or girlfriend fantasy? Are you meaning like boyfriends or like, because I think a lot of people like having company, but it's the same on Twitch. Like, I mean, even me, like, I hate being alone, so I like having people talk in the background or give me attention. Like, I completely get it. But on camming, that's another topic. Guys dating me because I was a cam girl. a lot of guys, especially on Twitch, when they found out I was cam girls, they've tried to like slide in the DMs or try to sleep with me because they think I'm gonna be like really good at sex and like fulfill their fantasies and like do all the freaky shit. And I'm just like, bro, I'm not here to be your like fuck buddy, right? Like I'm here to be a person, and like if you want to be a person with me, then that's okay. But I don't know. Like people do some degrading shit. Like I've literally like, I'm never hooking up again. I hooked up with this one guy I was dating for like, we went on a couple dates and he was really sweet, and he just like, we were having sex. It was like the worst sex. I left my body. I was like pressured into it. It wasn't a good time. He like just stuck his finger in my butt randomly. And I like got up and told him to leave because I was like, dude, I feel like you're treating me like a porn star. I'm not a fucking porn star. I'm a human being. And like, that was way after I left sex work too. So, and then I've never talked to him again. But I feel like I'm being haunted by him because like, he was in a very famous movie as like the main actor, and like I keep seeing that movie title. It's been like 10 years. He was a kid. I keep seeing it pop everywhere, and I'm like, I like YouTube and Twitch, and it'll get mentioned randomly, and I just like, he's a sociopath. I don't know. I'm being haunted. Was Shia LaBeouf? Yup, Shia LaBeouf stuck finger in my ass. You got me. Don't get. Dude, imagine that story time. That'd be a whack story time. Home Alone kid. Don't even try to guess. Somebody's gonna guess it, and like I can't say anything, so I'm not trying to get sued here. No, Mitch didn't stick a finger in my butt, chat. Okay, like it's all on the table. That whole thing. It's been now like almost a year, and I can reflect on it. That whole thing, like I don't know where my headspace was, but I've talked to him about this privately. I'm never going to have sex with him again, and I don't know what I was genuinely thinking. I've tried to like analyze my psychology and why like I wanted to have sex with him. We literally only did it twice, but my headspace was, this is really dark. I'm sorry for everyone that wants to have a good time today. We're gonna deepen the vibes. I had been sexually assaulted by a bunch of different men in my life and disrespected. I've been raped. I've like had the worst relationship with sex possible. And also dealt with pedophiles growing up. So my relationship to sex is very bad. And I was going through a point in my life where I was having like rape flashbacks every morning. So I would wake up and I would just be in like shivers and like just reliving being raped over and over by my ex. And when you're in that headspace, you do things to try to get over that because nobody wants to feel like that. And I wasn't on any medication or anything. I wasn't going to therapy. So my kind of coping with that was, here's this boy that I know won't try to date me, that I can just try to have a normal sex life with because he seems sexually experienced. So in my head, like it seemed like a safe environment, especially, and this sounds even worse, because he was a streamer, I felt like I could trust him more because it's not like he's gonna rape me, because like why would you have that in your reputation as a streamer? So I kind of like trusted him more than like a stranger to hook up with. Like I just wanted to have one experience with sex where I didn't have to feel like I was pressured to do anything or felt terrible about it. And I had sex with him twice. I did feel a lot better. It actually did help me. It was like a way of getting over like men violating me as taking control of my own sex life. It was a really empowering thing. But then that all got made public, which made it like a very bad thing again, which really sucked because like it wasn't like I was trying to hide it from you, but at the same time like it wasn't something I was necessarily proud of either. And nobody ever wants their sex life public, especially if they're not dating somebody. Like if I was dating somebody and like you love them, I don't mind if my sex life is public. Like, you know, people know I'm fucking somebody if I'm in love with them. But like he was literally just a hookup to like get over a lot of shit I was going through, and he knows that too. But I don't know, that was a really tough time having that like public, and it's been a year so I can like move on from it. And like I said, like I've learned a lot in the last year with that happening and that one guy like sticking his finger in my butt and like being a sociopath. Like because I didn't go into detail, but basically like I was going on a bunch of dates with this movie actor. He met me at like a big party we were at, like, and I met him and he was like so sweet. Like we were just sitting on a couch talking for hours, and like we had such good chemistry. And we would go on dates and they were really wholesome. We didn't even kiss. It was like a very wholesome thing. And like I trusted him enough after a couple dates to come to my house. And then basically like while my guard was down and I trusted him, like he pressured me into sex. And like he went from being like super romantic, like I'm gonna make love, to like I'm just trying to fuck you because you were a former sex worker, and like treating me like a porn star and being very aggressive. and like having no emotion. And like he switched so quickly that, sorry, I'm not doing any Sound Requests right now. He switched from being like a nice guy to like, yeah, it sounds like an actor, exactly. Like he's, I don't know if it's sociopath or psychopath, but one or the other. Like he just fucking, he scammed me. So I kicked him out and he left, and I don't know. So that kind of sucked. And I've been with one person that I dated for like a couple months, and ever since January, I've been single. I haven't had sex, and I don't think I'm going to for a while. I really want to take this time to get to know people, and before they access my body. Like, I am ashamed that so many people have had the opportunity to be with me when they're not who I thought they were. There's been a lot of men that have like pretended to be something they're not for up to months and then just completely change on me. And I wish those people wouldn't have had access, and they wouldn't have if I would have actually made them wait. So now I'm a reformed girl, and like people have to wait. Okay, access my body, you need the key card. I know, exactly. I'm not trying to be all dark here too, because I don't like being like a victim. I've always been like very anti being a victim. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. Like having people be like, oh, I'm so sorry, makes me so uncomfortable. But I want to be able to talk about my experiences without being like sad. Like I've overcome a lot of stuff. I've been in a cult, I've been raped, I've been a pedophile, but I'm not a victim. Like I've gotten over those things, and they've made me stronger. They've made me understand what it's like to be in those positions and to not be in them again. It's, if anything, like, it's me being able to take that experience, and if any guy ever shows like sociopathic symptoms, I can clock it like that and be like, get out of my life. Like, I've been through these experiences where I know when a guy is a danger for me to be around sexually, or who to trust and who not to trust. Being fucked over has only given me learning lessons in life, which is the positive to it. So I'm never going to have these experiences again, hopefully. Unloading like this is hard. A little bit of me kind of has like a little bit of anxiety after talking about that, but at the end of the day, like I said, like I kind of disassociate from those experiences and kind of refer to them more as like experiences and learning lessons than things to be sad about, because being sad about it is not a worthy use of time. Like I have so many other things to be happy for than to be sad over something in my past. So, yeah. But like I said, like that was always kind of really hurtful about the Mitch thing, because going through that in my own head and dealing with those things and having all of that public at the same time, and then being called all these terrible names and having people like constantly mention his name in chat just really fucking hurt. Like if it was just a hookup, like I'd been like, who fucking cares? But it was like a way of getting over being raped, and that's what, like, it's just so, it was such a shitty situation. But it's been a year. We are happy, we are healthy, we are good, everything is fine. Mitch and I are friends. Nothing will ever change with that. We've had many, many conversations reinforcing that idea. So people often speculate and make it weird, but like, I don't mind if you're sharing them, or like, not even sharing them. Like, if you're curious and you want to see it, like, fuck it, look it up. Like, I would look it up too, right? Just be careful not to get a virus. But the people that like share the videos and pictures like on my Twitter or something to hurt me, like those people are despicable to me, especially considering like I was literally barely legal in some of the photos they're posting. Like I think those are gross, because I'm not ashamed of what I did, but I feel like people that kind of repost it in like a way to try to shame me is the fucked up part, because there's nothing wrong with doing sex work, there's nothing wrong with doing freaky stuff either, as long as like you're not hurting anybody. How did you get in the BuzzFeed video? So Aria messaged me, the person that directed it, and he was like, hey, you want to be in a BuzzFeed video? And I was like, there's no way it's real. So I was just like, fuck it, sure. And turns out it was actually real. And I was like, why me? Like, I was such a nobody at the time. I had like 8,000 followers on Twitter. But that was really, really fun and like unique experience. I don't even know how he found me. Like, it was so bizarre. But like that really boosted my career and made me like have a lot of fun with it too. Were you a fan of any cam girls? Oh, yeah. Ash Marie was, like, my inspiration for such a long time. I thought she was so cool. I don't really know anybody else off the top of my head. He was lurking in your chat, huh? I guess. I don't know. 8K followers is nobody? Well, compared, like, to cam girls that had, like, 1 million followers, yeah, you could have interviewed anyone, and they chose me for some reason. And the video was just about me. I thought it was gonna be about like multiple cam girls. No, having like an entire video about me and get like 1.5 million views was insane. Especially because I always watched BuzzFeed growing up, so it was very weird being in a BuzzFeed video. How can you help someone with sexual trauma? I know a few women who have been sexually assaulted, but never knew I could help. This is a weird thing to say. First, therapy. Secondly, something that I found really helped me is Karuna Satori on YouTube doing ASMR. She normally does like trauma therapy. I forgot what the name is called, but you basically follow a light and she makes you like think about the trauma as she like does like puts you on a trance and kind of like she hypnotizes you and then tries to like heal you at the same time. I've done those and that helped me get over a lot of things because it makes you basically think about the trauma and hypnosis state and then you kind of move on. Did the guys that did those things to you end up in jail? Nope. Because I thought about putting them in jail and I was like, that idea would forever haunt me. And at the end of the day, like the people that had done it to me, they were like the same age as me. They were growing up too. They don't know what the fuck they were doing. I don't think malicious intent was there. I feel like what happened, it was more, I know it's like I shouldn't justify being raped, but what happened when I was like 18, the guy was also 18. I don't think he did it on purpose. Like, I think he did it and just, like, wasn't thinking straight. You know, like, and that doesn't justify it, his actions. He knows what he's done. Like, he's literally messaged me and said, like, I'm sorry I raped you. Like, he knows what he did. But at the same time, it wasn't like he went out to purposely do that. So it's not like, I don't think he would ever do it again. I hope not, at least. Because it was only, like, we were dating for a year and a half, and, like, he never showed signs of that before. So I don't really think he's a danger to society. If it was somebody that constantly did it, yeah. Yeah, I've been through a lot of shit, and I feel like I do a really good job of dealing with it and moving forward in a healthy way. I'm not, like, completely perfect, but... And I still have those moments of, like, not really knowing who I am sometimes due to all the trauma I've been through, but I feel like I cope in quite a healthy way, and, like, you know, streaming is a really... It's the one thing that I feel like really balances me as a person. It really helps me. Did you ever connect to someone outside of a private chat? You mean like in person? Like met somebody that's donated to me? Yeah, many times. Like conventions, specifically. Like I love hanging out with people at conventions. And it's kind of weird because it's like, yeah, you jerk off to me, but most of the people that like jerked off to you, you were friends with as well, and they're kind of cool. Like there's normal people. Like I would talk to like one of my biggest donators like every single day, and not because he donated to me, but we just got along really well. So like I would just call him and just hang out with puzzles and stuff. It was a fun time. Yeah, I was in a cam cult. It was a very weird experience and very traumatizing. I feel like I've dealt with it now, and I've kind of gotten like, the more I think about it and the more I kind of live life, the easier it is to talk about it, but I'm still not like completely open. Give me like another year maybe, and then we can like openly talk about everything. But that's one of those things like to put in perspective, being asked anything about the cult just is like a traumatic time to remember. Like asking me about those things, I prefer not being asked. Like I'll be playing a game and someone's like, so you were in a cult? Like I don't like just talking about it randomly because that's a really uncomfortable, traumatic thing to talk about, especially after everything. Ooh. Give me a second to breathe. Okay. But I know like when I'm open about these things, it does actually help a lot of people, especially I know there's a lot of girls out there that do actually watch me and then lurk. There's a lot of people that kind of look up to me and as an inspiration because of like I've been able to leave sex work. And yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to just start doing sex work again. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on me to like not do it, if anything, because people look up to me as an inspiration for being able to get out of those things. A lot of people have gotten into sex work and then regretted it and like got out, and like part of their reason for getting out was because of me, because they were like, oh, she can do it, I can do it too. I was kind of, I feel like one of the first girls that I know of to swim upstream like this, because normally it's like you start out on Twitch, you're not making enough money, so you start camming. Like that's normally how the cycle goes. You do an OnlyFans. For me, I did the opposite. I had an OnlyFans. I was doing camming. I went the opposite way. I started doing Twitch and stopped all those things. So going like swimming up the stream like a salmon is the wrong thing to do technically, but I feel like I'm one of the few people that actually did it and sort of become successful doing it. Which is inspiring because, you know, normally nobody wants to watch a former sex worker on Twitch. They would want to watch her do sex work, so I don't know. Mia Malkova, doesn't she? Yeah, she still does sex work, and Sasha Grey, I'm not sure if she still does it. But I think I'm one of the first people that, like, started, especially being a cam girl, going to Twitch. that's at least public about it and was like pretty known, because there's a lot of people that, you know, were very tiny and like never got noticed, and like they can do it now, Twitch, without getting recognized. But like me, like the first time I ever went on like a big stream, people were recognizing my name because like I not to stroke my own ego, but I was like pretty high up there in the Cam Girl rankings, so people kind of like recognized me. Oops, my bad. What are your goals now? I know like every fucking e-girl says this, but I am like extremely passionate about taking care of animals and conservation. It's something that like I've always been, like, I love animals. I view them as like highly sentient beings, and I want to take care of them. So one day, thank you for the 2 months, Sweet Meat Zero. One day I want to start an animal rescue where I take care of animals and like rehabilitate them into the wild, and you know, do something related to animals, because it makes me really happy, like, you know, rehabilitating and teaching animals how to love, especially ones that have been abused or in not so good situations. I'm a very loving human being, and animals sense that. So yeah. Bubbles, come here. Come here, Bubbles. Are you gonna itch? Oh, she's gonna itch and then she's gonna come over. So that's my goal. But for the meantime, I don't know. I just want to make people happy. I want to be an inspiration. I want to like, especially make you guys feel better during this dark time. I'm planning to do like, not only cat purring ASMR, but I want to do like kind of ASMR relating to like anxiety. I want to like, that's the kind of ASMR I want to do. It's going to take me a few days to like get comfortable doing ASMR, but I'm mostly going to be doing like ASMR relating to like anxiety. And were you half forced into things? No, I don't feel like I was ever forced into things necessarily, but you often get like pressured by your audience to do like more and more, especially like they always want to see anal, they want to see butt stuff, they want to see like fucking boy girl content. So as like a cam person, you're always going to be pressured to some extent to do those things. Do you care if it bugs your future husband? I'm not going to date somebody if they can't handle the fact that I was a sex worker when I was 18. If they can't handle that fact, they're not open and minded enough to be my husband / boyfriend / significant other. Do you ever sell objects like panties? No, I do not sell my panties. Thank you, though. I did. Oh, did you? I think you meant now. No, I did, yeah. No, I did sell my panties, just not anymore. No, yeah, that was fun. One guy, specifically, this is really funny. I don't find it really that gross as much as, like, interesting. So one guy bought my panties, right? Like, my used panties. Dirty panties. And he kept them in a folder, like, with, like you could flip pages and there'd be like another set of panties. So he had like a book full of like 50 girls' panties from like CB, just like a binder full of like panties, and they were labeled. So I thought that was really interesting. I don't know what he did with them. Like I never really asked. I never really wanted to ask. Like I just kind of didn't think about it, you know. Hey, thank you for the sub, Otse, for the 18 months. That's crazy. Thank you. Collector, my man. Yeah, you're the official collector. So somewhere out there, somebody has my panties from when I was 18 in a binder. If he ever sells those, if I become big, he will probably make a lot of money, but I don't know, man. That's a little bit strange. Interesting or fucking weird? I find it interesting. I guess, like, where else are you gonna keep panties? Like, if you bought any girl's panties, like, where else are you gonna keep them? I guess in a binder. Like, you're not just gonna stick them in your underwear drawer. You need to keep that premium scent, you know? So you gotta, like, put it in, like, a bag somewhere, like, collector. I wonder if you ever opened them or if they were just like there. Well, I hope the guy's okay. He messages me every now and then and I'm like, he's still alive. He still has my panties, so that's interesting. I think I'll stick to my toenail collection. I'm trying to think like the weirdest thing I ever like sold. Dirty socks. People always wanted like stinky dirty socks, but I'm like, I don't really like have stinky feet. Like my floors were clean. I didn't really have like stinky socks. So I'd have to like walk around outside to like make them dirty, like on my socks. And then I'd be like, aha, now they're dirty. But they were never stinky. So people were always disappointed when they would get my socks and they weren't stinky enough. Yeah, also like a lot of other things. People have bought like used sex toys from me. Like they'll want like a used sex toy, like a butt plug. And I'll be like, okay, like, sure, why not? I don't have stinky socks. Yeah, I don't have stinky stonks. No, socks either. It's weird. Big meows. Always big meows. Big meows for a big kitty. So, yeah, I don't know. Being a cam girl was really fun, though. It was pretty interesting. Most popular outfit request. I didn't really do outfit requests, but knee highs for sure. Knee highs were always like, or socks. People would always request for like socks on. It was really fun though. Like camming was always like dressing up and like doing fun things, and it was interesting. I always felt really sexy like dressing up. I miss those days. It's fun to like remember the things that like I kind of don't talk about every day, because I have so many stories, but